resurgence in a thicket of defenders. No! Loose! Diving! Collision! Embiid! Oh!
Now listen how loud the crowd was on that emphatic play from the 76ers. I mean, it kind of shows you a little glimpse into what the atmosphere will be like during this upcoming playoffs. Okay, now stop and everyone gather around, grab you a little snack, a little drink, because James Harden has been putting on a show right now. At the time of recording this video, James Harden has been sidelined a few games, but he's about to play against the Mavericks tonight, and for all the criticism he got last season and how loud it was, the praise he should be getting right now is very quiet. The Philadelphia 76ers are third in the Eastern Conference with a record of 49-25 on the back of Joel Embiid and James Harden. If you ask me, James Harden is one of the best playmakers and isolation creators in the league, and although he might have went through a slump where he's dealing with some injuries that led to him not playing at the best of his ability, it is all now changed. Being able to set the pace throughout the game not only helps with his facilitating on the court, but it also helps him get to his spots whenever he pleases, which in turn lets Harden start to get into his flow. There's many little things that dictate whether or not it'll be harder or easier for you to operate on the court, and the first key one that Harden has is his ability to handle the ball on the floor. Now when we talk about handles, it can get pretty broad. Some people have a more wild, funky handle, some are super shifty while keeping the ball tight, and some just have so many moves to choose from, it can get really crazy. If you had to put Harden in one of these categories, which one would it be? When I'm detailing Harden's game on the court, or most importantly in this case his handle, I would group Harden more into that tight handle that's pretty shifty category, because although Harden can tie together a combo in many ways, it's usually this double through the legs yank that sends the defender's momentum the opposite direction, and Harden can go float it up for two. The way he keeps the ball close in and yanks it from right to left can really make a defender shuffle, and when luring the defense to sleep, Harden times it perfectly when to cross over and explode out, and this deceptiveness helps Harden succeed when getting past defenders. Having Mobley out on Harden with absolutely no help is a recipe for disaster, and when we talk about combos he can use, well here we go. First he dishes out the double through the legs into a burst out, and as he bobbles the handle a little bit, Harden steps back, and once he crosses you can see Mobley lunge out, and this sets up the perfect cross right into a blow by, and Harden finishes strong at the rim. That 6'6" burly frame of Harden's that some people once tried to call fat is an exact component to why he can muscle defenders off him pretty easily, and when you pair that with his acceleration off of crossovers, things can get pretty difficult for the defense. At the time of recording this, James Harden leads the league in isolation frequency at 30%, and with all guards who attempted at least 4 attempts off these ISOs, Harden is number 1 in points per possession. So honestly, do you want to take that chance of letting Harden invite you to the island and cook? Surely not, because it can range from these quick size ups just muscling off the defender to then split the defense for the lay, or it can be as easy and as obvious as shifting the whole defense to one side pretty much, take Middleton off the dribble, and then go finish the little simple bucket. Although Harden might make it look effortless, the timing and quickness you must have to get past defenders this smoothly is really not as easy as it looks. A lot of people probably wouldn't highlight Harden's driving as a leading factor to his game, but I really think you have to for multiple reasons. Right now, Harden is converting on 50% of his driving layups so far, and no, this isn't a percentage that's going to tear the defense apart, but it is good enough to put some pressure on the defense with the dribble drive penetration. If you see here, as Harden operates off this pick and roll, he attracts both Porzingis and Morris, which then opens up both Melton and Reed for a look, and the rest is history as Harden just no-looks it to Reed off the roll for the easy lay at the rim. This attention Harden attracts when he sets his mind to go to the rack is ridiculous, and remember, this only works because of his crafty handle. On this play, Vanderbilt is out on that island guarding Harden, and first we see Mike Conley lunge at Harden here, James then attacks out of the size up, and now we see Clarkson bolting over across the lane to cut off Harden's drive, and as this happened, James snatches behind the back into a step back, sending Vanderbilt flying, and it's a mid-range bucket right over the contest. So you can see the handle paired with the ability to convert inside makes the defense a bit weary and alert to his attacking, and now Harden can get more groovy with his moves and adjust to the defense by cooking them in that mid-range area. Now you can try to guard up tight, get a good contest, or even double up on James, but he still will find a way to drop in the bucket. With a premier defender and Drew Holiday matched with Harden in this corner, James just goes deep into his bag by using his cross through the legs directly into an in and out, spins off Holiday once met with the contact, and then steps back into a fadeaway from about 17 feet. Combos like this can be more complex and difficult to pull off, but trust me, Harden can make even the simplest moves look deadly by shifting the defense with a jab cross, putting them out of defensive position, and then as Grimes tries to recover, Harden steps back, lets it fly, and gets the lucky bounce late in the shot clock. Now listen, if you thought that was the simplest way for Harden to get a look at the basket and get his shot off besides just a regular jump shot, then you're mistaken. Even if he's cut off with no live dribble and nowhere to go, it's nothing for James to just rise up and unbothered just knock down the fadeaway. So far in the season, James has dropped in 46% of his 73 mid-range attempts, and as you can see, the pull-ups can basically come in a variety pack. A major factor that helps him get to his openings as well is working off the pick and roll with Embiid, and sometimes it's just a hot potato game between the two as they both can knock it down, and inevitably Harden is left wide open for the midi right outside the paint. It gets pretty scary out there when you're dealing with James coming at you off these screens, as you just can't focus all your attention on him, as at any time he can find the opening within the offense to set up Joel or any of his teammates. If you look around the league, guards who aren't prominent playmakers like Harden may miss out on some assists due to a combination of lack of court vision and not having the ability to complete certain passes. For James Harden, this is where his IQ and craftiness come in handy and benefits the offense greatly. This season, Harden is the NBA's leader in assists per game, dishing out nearly 11, and this helps land him at second in the league in assist percentage at 44%. Now that alone just shows you how valuable Harden can be as a floor general for the 76ers, but as all of us know, the eye test far exceeds the numbers game. As Harden comes off this screen, the defense is already plotting on the dump off to Embiid on the roll, so that's why you see Garland jog over to take away that roll, but Harden is already 2 steps ahead of them and zips this pass across court for the Milton 3. These kickouts are always open when Harden is putting pressure on the defense, and when coming downhill attacking Mitchell off the screen, as Harden bodies off Mitchell into a Euro, Mobley slides over to take away the lay, and instead of forcing up the lay, Harden wraps it around Mobley's body to find Harris on the wing for the easy money. I mean, honestly, there's not too many guards making a pass like that on a consistent basis, and when you see these super deceiving lobs that scrape right over the top of the defender's hands, you start to look at Harden's facilitating a little different. These dimes in the half court that either come off his driving or off a nice pocket pass off the roll are the main ways he will serve up a teammate, but if you give Harden the open floor on the break, then he's more than capable of making you pay in a quick second with his ability to scan the floor quickly. Let me ask you this, would you rather have the bounce pass be delivered to you on the money while you're in pursuit, or do you want something more flashy where Harden does a little 360 while he puts it on a platter for you? Either way, if you just fill the lanes next to Harden or just get out early up the court off the rebound, Harden will always have his eyes up, ready to find the open man. All these aspects on the court are very key components to Harden tearing apart the defense, and then when you add in that Harden is draining 38% of his 7 3-point attempts per game, it widens your eyes even more. Reining it in above league average is always what you want to see from your lead guard, as this will allow him to pull defenders out more, but it also makes for a reliable threat from deep. If we dig in a little deeper and look at a breakdown of Harden's splits from beyond the arc, you can see that most of Harden's attempts come off the pull-ups opposed to off the catch, but nonetheless he is very effective off either option. That same size up package and step back in the midi that we discussed earlier is exactly how Harden operates from the outside, allowing him to get those open looks from beyond the arc. In all aspects of the game offensively, Harden is showcasing his skills and is playing at an elite level. Sure, it might not be as flashy all the time as it used to be, but Harden is more impactful now and can still add in his flair when needed be. Now look, over here in the Two Shawty film room, we do things a little different. I love to hear everybody's opinion and talk back and forth in the comments. So I really have something I want you to answer. We all know the playoffs are coming, and we all know the criticism that James Harden gets. And I mean, hey, sometimes he doesn't show up, sometimes he does a little here and there, but I get what people are saying. Do you think he's going to come into the playoffs this year and be an actual contributing factor and the 76ers will go deep in the playoffs? Or do you think it'll be another flop and there'll be an early exit? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like before heading over to watch this De'Aaron Fox analysis. I thank you all for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.